Yes, we have a red light. We are live today. And today, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to invite, we are speaking with Emily Ching. Now, I forgot to ask Emily, where are you from, Emily?
Hi, Janice. Thank you for having me. I am in Vancouver, BC, in Canada.
Ah, lovely. Oh, you're way over there on the other side
Oh, yeah.
of the world. I'm in sunny Brisbane, Australia.
Right.
Emily, we're here today to talk about the growth and development that you've experienced in the personal development field.
Mm-hmm.
So is there a quick, short paragraph that you could share with us that encapsulates what your journey has been?
It took a lot of reprogramming of my brain.
Mm-hmm.
I have always been on the path of personal development. Like when I pick up a book, it's always self-help. Like I don't read novels or anything. I don't know. Naturally, I gravitate towards self-development. So it's always been with me.
Mm-hmm.
But what pushed me was when I attended a Tony Robbins event in 2015.
Yep.
So that, I guess, was the big push that propelled everything.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Excellent. And I'm a little bit like you. I've picked up novels in my time and got halfway through and thought, oh, this is not interesting. But give me a personal development book and I'm in. I'm hooked. I'm right there. Right. So I totally relate to what you're saying there, Emily. Mm. So you've become an entrepreneur. You've done real estate in the professional side. So I'm assuming that's your bricks and mortar world. And you're a social media marketing specialist. Can you give me an overview of what all that means to you and how it's come together?
Okay. So with real estate, I've been in the business for the past 6 years.
Yes.
And the reason why I got into it, at that time, my kids were small. They were, I think, 4 and 2. Mm-hmm. So I needed something really flexible. Mm-hmm. And my husband and I decided that one of us should stay home with the kids. Like it was not an option for us to leave them to daycare. Yeah. So of course that would be me.
Yep.
Right. So I needed something flexible and I got into real estate because my husband's an architect. So we planned to do something together eventually. So it was a good idea at that time. And 6 years after it, I love it now. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The first 2 years were a struggle because first of all, my kids were young and then I cared for them full time. Mm-hmm. And then I did not grow up here. So I did not have that local network. I had to begin from, totally from zero.
Yep. Understand.
Yes. But the online world, I've been thrown into it when my kids when I gave birth to the first one. Mm-hmm. I fell in love with baby products, of course. So
I don't know why.
So those few years until they were, I think 5. For the first 5 years, I got into selling baby products online. Uh-huh. So that was what threw me into the online world. I had 2 online stores. So I wasn't like getting into real estate. I wasn't clueless about online marketing.
Yep.
So I have been online ever since then.
Good on you.
Yes. And then, so when I got into our mentorship program, that pushed me further because of all the strategies that we're learning. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So that's where I'm at right now. I'm using all the strategies for my business. Mm-hmm. So the strategies that we're learning was intended for the online world, right? But then I was able to apply it for my real estate business, which is mostly offline, except for the marketing side.
Yep.
So I'm living proof that the skills are transferable.
Strategies. Fantastic.
Right?
Fantastic.
So, yes, so that's where I'm at right now.
Brilliant. So the social media marketing all encapsulates all of that together because you're taking that skill, exposing yourself online, marketing in a way that you could meet your real estate market. The entrepreneurial side of you is still excelling in its own way. And it's all bubbled in collectively in that bubble. I love it. It's brilliant, and good on you for doing it.
Thank you. Thank you.
I mean, we all have this capability. Some of us just don't pick up on the opportunity.
Right. And sometimes we just need the right people to tell us what to do or at least show us the way. Right?
Correct.
Yes.
I agree wholeheartedly. We have a set of questions. I really appreciate what you've shared with us there. That's given us a little bit of a background of you, Emily Ching. Mm-hmm. And I will just go on to ask, so that with everything that has happened in your life, what was your biggest wake-up call that you look towards personal development? Now, you've said you've always had an interest in personal development, but what was it that was a way to improve your life, your mindset around that?
Right. I guess I'll talk about the breakthrough. I guess the biggest breakthrough that I've had was when I found out that abundance is around us.
Yes.
Right? And we just need to tap into it.
Correct.
And I never knew how to do that. Like
I can relate to that.
I always thought that we had to work really, really, really hard to be successful, right? But where I am now, I found out that it's not true. Like, of course, you still have to work hard, right? But if I've learned how to put myself in situations where you'll manifest it, like being or talking to successful people, right? Not being with people who complain a lot. Right?
Number one, I agree. Get rid of them.
Yes. So being in that positive environment is I found it easier to tap into my potential.
Excellent. Yes.
Right?
And I'm taking that you're a positive person anyway.
I am. Yes.
Good. That helps.
You know, sometimes even with the conditioning of our brain to, you know, wanting to do that, sometimes there are situations that will pull you back, right? And then, but I always make sure that I'm conscious about it. And it hasn't been easy. It took me, I don't know, because I started with our program late last year. And it's only recently that I felt like I'm really tapped in.
Good on you. Good on you.
So that's a year. That's roughly a year. So if and to start out, I'm not a negative person to start with. So if you were a negative person, then it might take even longer.
There's a bigger flip. It's a bigger flip. I get what you're saying there.
Yes,
totally.
But you know, you can't give up because it's there.
Correct.
It's there for us.
Correct.
Right? We just need to tap into it.
Totally agree with you. I think for me, and I share this with you as a way that all of our listeners will hear, we have everything we need. It all comes from within. We just have to get from here into here and feel into it. That's probably the best way that I could bring that all into just one sentence. Everything comes from within. Right.
Yes.
And for me, we know that.
The biggest struggle, no, I can't say struggle. The biggest hurdle for me was breaking through the fear.
Yes.
Right? Breaking through the fear of what's on the other side. And breaking through that, you know, sometimes you feel like that was what I was afraid of. That was stupid, you know.
Can I admit something? That's where I am at the moment. But it's part of our journey. It's part of what everybody goes through at some point in time in life.
Yes.
So
Yes.
thank you for sharing that, because that makes everybody else feel like, oh, we're just as human as she is, so we can do this too.
Yes, of course.
You know, it's facing that and wanting that and pushing through that. Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that with us, Emily.
You're welcome.
So, who was one of the top leaders in the personal development world that inspired you? Now, this could be somebody like Bob Proctor, or it could be Mike Dillard. I'm not going to read the whole list out because I know you've got the list there. But, you know, who was your biggest inspiration before you came into this actual group?
Tony Robbins.
Wow.
I've been listening to him for a while now, and then my husband and I dragged my husband with me to go to one of his events in 2015.
Excellent.
So that was awesome. That was really, really awesome. And so we would still listen to him on YouTube and his podcasts. And another person would be Dr. Wayne Dyer.
Yes, bless him.
Yes, and then I listen a lot to Abraham Hicks.
Yes, beautiful. Yep,
yes.
With you.
So I like Abraham Hicks because their audios on YouTube is like 15. You can find lots of them that are 15, 20-minute long audio, so it's pretty quick.
Correct.
And I would
impacting
always get
too.
Yes, and I always get something out of them. Like you can easily listen to it while you're washing the dishes or whatever.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
And it starts your day right.
Correct. I love it. I get excited when you say those people's names, because I've been on my own personal path since probably 15, nearly maybe 18 years, but it's only in the last 2 years that I've really excelled. So I hear exactly what you're saying. Love it. Excellent. So when did you know that you recognized you were on path and you really felt that emotion, that your life was going to change? You could really feel the difference, or you were inspired to want to do more?
I would say after the Tony Robbins event.
Great. It was an aha moment?
Yes, aha moment. But what really pushed me was getting into Darren's TRA.
Of course.
Were you in that too?
No, unfortunately, I haven't got there yet. No.
Not yet. Okay. I would encourage you to.
Yes.
That
was your tipping point.
I would say was the one that put me in the zone, so to speak. That is what taught me how to really manifest what I wanted, and to break through that fear.
Great. Yeah. Excellent.
Yeah.
And that's a big step in everyday life of exactly where we are. And then you've been able to take some of that knowledge and bring it into your real estate business or your real estate operations.
Right.
So could you just share one aha that took from there into your bricks and mortar world that really lifted you and shifted you to a new level that you excelled, and you've done about 100,000 commission? Would I be right there?
Yes, in 9 months, which is crazy, because I would make a similar figure before, but it was always struggling, always worried about where the next client is coming from, always worried about where the next commission check is coming from. But this year it was easy.
Excellent.
There was no struggle. I used to pay for leads. I don't do that anymore. So aside from saving money, I'm making more.
Excellent.
Right? I don't chase prospects. They raise their hands and come to me.
What a bonus.
The big aha moment there was, like our mentors would always say, we have to provide value. Right? So taking that advice into my real estate world, what I did was to keep in touch with my people. Like I would send them a newsletter every month. Right? So taking that advice, what I did was I switched from once or twice a month to 4 to 6 times a month.
So you really built rapport.
Yes, I did that, and provided value-based content, right?
Hints and tips, things along that line?
Yeah, things like, or entertainment, like celebrity homes or whatever.
Okay.
And then I started being consistent on Facebook. After 2 or 3 months, I noticed people just calling me when they were ready to buy or ready to sell. So that's where I got my aha moment. I said, okay, something's working, right? It's the value that I put out without expecting anything in return. And then they just raised their hands when they were ready. So I've been doing that ever since. And so this year it has been really consistent, because I joined Black Ops late last year. So started applying all the strategies, right? So starting February, that's when I noticed people just raising their hands whenever they're ready. So this whole year was the same, like consistent. It was that way consistently, that I did not need to chase anyone.
What a bonus.
Yes. So next year, I'm really excited for 2018, because, now I know where to concentrate on doing.
Yes.
Right. And just do more of it.
I think that's excellent, to be able to learn what you've learned and then put it into the bricks and mortar world. You've then got that extra knowledge for the entrepreneurial online world. You've got a win-win situation there. So congratulations to you to, how shall we say, flicking the switch.
Yes, thank you very much.
Right, to be able to do that, because you inspire others to want to know more.
Yes.
So that in itself is bonus. Absolutely fantastic, Emily. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So did you have any little coincidences, like maybe a little event in life that were in alignment to your journey? And by that I mean, for instance, you may have seen somebody speaking on stage and you're inspired to want to do that. You wanted to know more. And it resonated with you, with your vision. Was there anything that actually happened?
Yes. So I attended an event locally, I think in April of this year. He's a local speaker. His name is Colin Sprake. It was a 3-day seminar. And I had a big aha moment there too.
Great.
You know how when we want something and we keep on thinking about it, and I guess I would say you want to be in control and get it or something, right?
Yes. Yep.
What I got from that seminar is to just let it go. To just let it go.
Big moment. Yep.
Yes, and to be open for God or the universe to give it to me.
Yep.
And oh my goodness, that was a huge, huge, huge aha moment for me too, because when I started doing that and just letting it go, and I'll be open to whatever is available, and things just falling into place.
Yes.
So that's another aha moment. The best example that I could give there is, how when you try to remember something and it's at the tip of your tongue and you can't remember.
Yeah.
Once you give up, it comes to you.
Correct. Oh, perfect analogy. I love it.
Yes. So
perfect.
That was a huge aha moment for me.
Darling, I just had a thought. Now, I wonder if I could ask her, could she give me a suggestion of what's an example of that? Oh my goodness, she just went straight into it. I love the energy. I love the way that if we think it, the other person says it.
Yes. So
perfect.
The one thing I can say about that is, for a big example, is worrying about something, right? We worry. But once you let it go, because it doesn't matter if you worry or not. The problem is there, right? We worry about a problem. It's always there. Correct. So why not use that energy to solve the problem instead of thinking about it, right? So
that's a damn good point.
Yeah, so that's what I'm consciously doing too. if I start worrying about something, I just let it go and concentrate on what I can do to solve it.
And look, I'll complete that by saying change state. Change state. Because if you hang on to that carry on, well, then you're just going to get more and more and more. So for me, it's, okay, take a deep breath in, change state. Rightio. And I'm a question person. What is the next thing I can do to move me forward? Because I try and cut that little that's going on. I don't want it anymore. Change state. What is the next thing that I can do to move me forward? And in most cases, you know, it might be go and get a cup of coffee just to relax. It might be a situation where, no, now go and look for X, Y, Z that you were looking for earlier, because there it's going to be.
Yep. And Beautiful. I do that to my kids too. Sometimes if they're grumpy, I would ask them to do 10. I would ask them to do 10 or 20 jumping jacks. Immediately gone. Right? The grumpiness is gone.
You want to know something? That's a very valid point. And if you want them to shift again, and I share this very openly with you, this is my right side. Touch your left knee. Your left elbow touch your right knee. And what actually happens in the brain is you actually shift all those things up there that are working. Right?
I should try that.
Yeah. Trust me, if you've been sitting at an event, the best thing you can do is go and do something that crosses your brain with your limbs. Right? Touching the opposite foot to the opposite arm from the back.
Okay. Right.
Trust me, your brain will go, I feel fresher now.
I should try that.
It works every time.
Thank you.
You're most welcome, darling. And from the children's perspective, it keeps their brain alert. You know, doing jumping jacks here is a perfect way to shift the energy, change the state.
It always works.
Absolutely. Oh, this is a delight speaking with you. We could spend hours with all our hints and tips. Darling, let's move on to our final question. What led you to create, and I'm going to call it your business page, accelerate your success? And I love how you've spelled accelerate. Because, you know, it is about that sheer drive and adrenaline. So what was the journey that brought that all together for you? And this is where you can do a little plug for yourself.
It's my way of giving value to people who think that they get value from me. Right? So I would provide marketing tips there.
Yes.
But I also share the same tips on my personal wall.
Yeah.
Right? But the people in the group will be able to be notified when I post something.
Yes.
So that is just my private group, a place for me to share value, to share whatever I've learned through our program or through whatever I read or from whatever I listen to. I would share it there. Totally that's the main purpose of the group. It's just for me to share whatever I learn.
Love it, love it, love it. Emily, it's been a delight to have the conversation with you. The little hints and triggers, you've actually triggered my brain to, I'm just going to go release, surrender, I'm giving it all away.
That's right, exactly.
Because, it is. There's a part of me that is probably holding. I just need to let it go. Let it go.
That's right. Yes,
and look,
let it go.
You know, it's an absolute delight to have had this experience. I mean, I love the technology that we're able to do this now. You're on one side of the world, I'm on the other. Yet we can have a peaceful one-on-one conversation and make connection.
I know, isn't it amazing?
It is, it is. Look, if listeners that you're wanting to get in contact and find out more about what the marketing specialist does here with Emily Ching in the social media arena, do get in contact with Emily. You'll find her on Facebook and you'll probably have to make friends with her or ask any questions of her. Or you can contact me on Janice Muir. Where am I? Start again, Jan. See, I get excited and I have to come back. My personal development page is #leadership with Janice Muir. So thank you very much for being with us, Emily. Thank you, listeners, for being a part of us. And I will bring this to a close. Lovely chatting with you.
Thank you very much, Janice.
You're welcome.